I'm sure you're going to say the same thing, but I'm not trying to steal your thunder. But I just want to let you know that I appreciated the sessions I did sit in on. There weren't many because I was mostly out in the hall just meeting people and talking. And that's where the real, the real energy and the juice was for me. So anyone have any thoughts on that? Anyone want to, or should we go around, or does someone want to jump in and say what they felt or what they came away with?
I'll start. I felt exactly the way you did. It was awesome meeting you after spending so many nights talking with you through this camera thing here, the internet, and Christy too, and Robin and Dave. I'm so glad you're on tonight because you're usually just watching, but it's great to see you on. And the energy in that hall was there's so many neurons firing in my brain. It was so exciting. I could not stop smiling. And I actually hurt. I was smiling so much. It was so happy to be there. And I too did not attend as many of the lectures as I probably should have, or that I even planned. Actually, the ones I went to were when you weren't there, Larry. It's like, oh, he's not here. I better go sit in on a lecture. And I found some really, I actually made a video that I posted today from Dr. Berg's lesson, his pamphlet. I made a whole video on that pamphlet because it was absolutely amazing about ultra-processed food. In a teaching style. So yeah, I am going next year. It's in Tampa, Florida in September. So now I get to just drive there and save on the airplane ticket. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that too. Is it the same time of year? They're not going to have it in Austin?
It's in September. No, it's in September and it's in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, so, but I think they still have one in Austin too, right? They're going to.
I don't know. I think that's going to be the one.
Oh,
that's all I heard.
That's really cool. I mean, Tampa's easy to get to. It's not too far for me. I mean, it is, but it's, I could get there. I just drive past my dad's a little bit, right? My dad's by Pensacola, so it's a little past that, but it's not too far. So I could go visit my dad and do that. So yeah, and here's the other thing, guys. When you go, and this is for people that haven't gone to KetoCon, when you buy a ticket to KetoCon, you have access to all those presentations on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch all those videos that you missed. So you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't miss, Maria Emmerich's presentation or whatever, whoever's board on, and you don't have to worry about that. It's nice to watch some of them, but you can always go back, and if you saw one you really liked and you didn't get all the notes or you can go back and see it again and again, which is great. So it's part of the ticket. We don't make money selling tickets here, and it's not what we're about. It's just, I think it was worth it for anyone that can swing it. I know it's not cheap and time is expensive, but if you're really serious about this way of life, it's really neat thing to do at least once in your life.
And the support, the power that you feel, the support of everybody, you're all on the same page. You all think similarly, and we don't get that in our everyday lives here. Everywhere around us now, it's the standard American diet. You talk to people, they believe the myths about cholesterol and calories and all the things that we know are false. But when we were there, we were with our tribe. It was awesome.
Everybody was eating boatloads of meat, and we all felt great about it.
Yeah. And I made sure we had butter.
And we all pulled out our little salt shakers, like we all had salt. Right. It was pretty funny.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I agree. I think meeting the people was really so awesome. There's some people that I've been watching for a long time. Loving It on Keto was there. Watch Autumn Keto was there. And it was just really, really cool to meet those folks in person that I've been watching their stories. I mean, I'm relatively new to the space because I just started my channel, my carnivore-based channel back in like August. And so those are folks that I've been watching for years. And, I had an opportunity to interview Loving It on Keto, which is like, it was a highlight for me. I was really, really excited to meet them and their little dog, Sally. So, just meeting the people was absolutely incredible. The energy, the vibe was just like electric. It was just electric. Everybody was so excited. Everybody was so happy. And you know, it's just really, you know, really, really cool. We had opportunities to speak to vendors who were not carnivores, you know, and talk to them about their way of eating, and, you know, kind of talk to them and show them how amazing the carnivore diet can be. So that was really, really cool as well. I'm so glad I decided to go. I had FOMO. I could not stay home. I was like at the last minute, okay, yes, I'm gonna go, because I just could not let you guys all go and me not be there. So it was absolutely incredible. I still am smiling. You know, my job is really hectic, very, very busy, crazy busy. And I was smiling all day today, just remembering about how awesome the weekend was.
Yeah, and I was tempted to interview people, but I really wanted to be present in the moment and not. Plus, I had my family there, so this is really cool. I share this, guys. My brother was there one day. My sister and her husband were there for a couple of days, and my son was there for a day, about a day and a half. And of course, Duke was there for a day too, my dog. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, just making it a family affair. And I know none of you guys got to do that. What? No, Christy did. Your mom was there. Yeah,
my mom was there, and it was fantastic.
Cool?
And she couldn't believe all the people. Like, she just knows me as this shy kind of person, and she's like, well, every 5 minutes somebody was running up wanting to hug you or get a picture with you. She thought it was cool. She was just kind of amazed. I don't think she knew that was going to happen. But she had a great time too. It was neat having her there, since we sort of, you know, bond over our way of eating. And she's my only one of my only supports that I actually have in real life. So it was cool to do that with her.
That's awesome. One of my favorite books is Mere Christianity. And as a Christian, C.S. Lewis equates being a Christian to getting shot down over enemy-occupied France. And you land there and you're in enemy territory, really. And that's kind of what, when we go back to our homes, you know, diet-wise, we are in enemy territory again. And this is, you know, everything's geared against us. So having allies is very important, and having battle buddies. And I think we've made this little ring of battle buddies here, and there's more. This is just the ring I called for today. You know, whether or not you have a YouTube channel like Dave doesn't, it doesn't matter. You're my battle buddies, and you're the ones that I can, you know, reach out to with a text, or, you know, and I know that you're in my corner, which I love. And, you know, that's what we're looking for. So build your network if you don't have one. If you're all alone doing this, it's too hard. Find some people and go to local meetups. And if there's no local meetups, make a local meetup, or find someone that will, that's local to you, and ask. Facebook groups, or, you know, meetup.com. There's different things you can do. So Dave, why don't you tell us about your experience?
Oh man. Okay, so I bought my tickets months ago, when not long after they first came out. So like maybe it was in September or October, maybe. I don't even remember. It just seemed like it would never get here. It seemed like it was way in the future, and it slowly approached, and next thing you know, it's over. I had a terrible start. I was supposed to fly in on Friday morning early. The flights got bumped, moved, and then I wasn't going to arrive until Saturday based on the delay. So I just canceled my flights and drove the 6 hours. It took me 7 because of the terrible rain midway. But I got to the event Friday at, I don't know, a little bit after noon, like 2-3 o'clock. And it was amazing. I got to meet you guys. You know, like I feel like, you feel like some of these YouTubers, because you see them all the time. And you begin to feel like you have a relationship with them. But on the other hand, they don't really know you that well, because they don't really see you. They only see your handle, you know, and maybe your comments. But I see you guys all the time. So for me, you know, like I'll go up to somebody, hey, I follow you, you know, and they're like, well, who are you? You know, but I saw quite a few people just within the first 2 or 3 hours of getting there, you know, that I followed, you know, and it was amazing. I mean, it felt like you were on you were on home turf out there because everybody there was either keto or carnivore for the most part, you know, so they were all basically kind of in your way of thinking. And, you know, the chance to meet Dr. Chafee, Dr. Baker, Dr. Kiltz, I mean, on and on and on. And then you guys, you know, like I think on Friday, I didn't get a chance to see Christy, but I found, you know, we ran into each other finally. I saw her sitting down at the table. And I'm like, wow, that looks like Christy, you know, and we finally met. And I met Nia. I follow her quite a bit. I watch just about all of her videos as well. And the chance to meet her, you know, it's just amazing. I mean, everybody, you know, you guys are all just a pleasure to be around. And it was a shame that had to end because I was kind of depressing. I had to leave a little bit early because I had something to be home for by about, I wanted to be back about 9 o'clock. So I left, you know, a little bit early. I punched out about 1 o'clock. I got home about 7. But yeah, it was fantastic. The chance to, like, I only saw 2 presentations, you know, there was 2 that I wanted to see. I did see them. The rest of the time I was mingling, and meeting people and talking to people. And I talked to a lot of people, you know, I spot people that I followed and had a conversation, took a lot of pictures. I got to meet Courtney Luna. I follow her as well. We had a pretty good conversation. And, so yeah, it was fantastic. I'll definitely go to the next one if it's in Austin, even if it's in Florida. I'll drive to Florida. That's an easy drive for me, or, you know, fly. But I told my wife, the next time we do this, you're going to come with me. We're going to get there a day early, and I'll stay a few days after, you know, and take in the sights of wherever we're at, you know, make a little mini vacation out of it. That was my biggest lesson learned. I should have got there Thursday, and I should have left Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's the same thing I told my husband. Sorry, Larry.
No, go ahead.
When I got home, I said to my husband, I have to go back again next year, and you have to go with me, because it was so amazing. Like, we're going to just put it in the budget, put it in the plan, and be at the next one because it was so cool.
It would have been kind of fun to get an Airbnb and get a group of us, you know, to stay there and share the costs. But John, it probably would have never said.
My sister and brother-in-law did that, and they had 2 extra rooms. They're like, man, we wish we would have known these other people. We would have invited other people to the rooms, and then you could all carpooled, and that would have been fun because they had this big house. And that's the way we need to do it next year. We need to.
Yeah, I'll need some help in Florida with that. In Austin, my mom's cousin lived there, so we were able to stay with her. In Florida, yeah, I'm gonna need some. I told Ellie because Ellie lives in Florida, and I was like, Ellie, come on.
Let's all do an Airbnb house.
Yes.
And we can almost each get our own room, or we share a room. I told Dave, I said, that would be great, but I think we'll be like kids at camp and we won't sleep
up all night.
Guys, we got to go to sleep now.
Gotta sleep.
So one of the things that really struck me, and this is it. This is Granny Carnivore, not to be confused with Carnivor's grandma, but Granny Carnivore was, you know, thought we were all huggable and authentic. So that's what I came away with, was no one was different on camera than they were in person. Not at all. If nothing else, it was just the camera was a fraction of what the whole thing was, but it's like the tip of the iceberg, and then you get the depth, and you get the you know, the full experience of knowing someone and being with them, including, you know, tactile and just presence, being there. And that goes up to the doctors and stuff too. They were all very gracious. A lot of them were super busy, but some would sit there and just talk to you and listen, and you could tell they were really engaged. Yep. They were not just, you know, just I don't know, putting up FaceTime. They were actually working. They were like into what you were saying. It was really interesting.
I have to say this, you guys, it was so funny. I somehow ended up in that pen that they had in the center of the room.
VIP
that
pen?
Was the VIP pen? How'd you get in there?
I ended up inside there.
Did they?
They let their guard down and let me and G get in there.
I got it sorted out.
I didn't know what it was till the second day. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, look at all the chairs and everything. I didn't read the
Right.
sign, I guess.
I'm like, oh, let me get some coffee. No, that's not for you. It's for the people who paid $1,000 for their
That's
ticket.
right.
But
You go sit over on the hard
Chafee
floor.
came in there. Dr. Chafee and his girlfriend came in there, and we just mobbed him. Me and G, we just mobbed him. Like, she gave him a big old hug, but he was so gracious. He didn't even like say, wait a minute, what are you doing in here? We clearly did not have on the right badges. I had no idea that this was like a VIP section until I saw Russ was in there and he had his VIP tag on. I'm like, oh, so I'm not supposed to be in here. We stayed in there for like an hour. It was so crazy.
Yeah, you know, Dr. Kill, when I met Dr. Kills, he just was so engaging. He asked me a lot of questions about, you know, like what kind of activities I did, you know, because I told him, I guess because I told him I'm pretty athletic. So he asked me a lot of questions about what I did and how much I ride, like what type of biking I do, if I did mountain biking. You know, he just asked me so many questions that, you know, like it was amazing. Like the guy doesn't even know me, as well as Dr. Chafee. We had a really good conversation. He recognized me when I talked about a email that I had wrote, and we corresponded back and forth. He asked me what kind of progress I've made since then. I said, oh, great progress. My LDL's even higher now, you know. I said, thank you for keeping me from jumping off of a building, you know. Yeah, it was fantastic. These people were just so nice. There was nobody that had that star. You know, you sometimes you think, are these people going to be a little star, like, you know, I'm a superstar, don't approach me. But nobody was like that. They were all very real, very approachable, and very gracious, and I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there were several people that I got to spend a decent amount of time with, like David, like Robin, like John. Not as much with Larry, but still a good amount of time, you know. And then there was other people that I had been excited to hang out with, like Limitless Lindy, and it was maybe like 5 minutes, and I was so sad. I was like, Lindy, because you know she's all the way in Australia. And I had wanted to spend more time. I think I went to way more presentations than you guys did. And I think maybe that's because my mom was there and I was feeling bad. Like, I know all of you. I'm excited to talk to you. And my poor mom is like, I have no idea. She didn't say anything, but I felt bad for her. So
Your mom
I
must have thought you were a superstar.
It was pretty funny after the first day. She was like, what is happening?
That's cool to have your mom go and see. One time my mother came to, God, it was somebody's retirement party where I worked. For some reason, they were in town. I was in, and they got to see me in a totally different environment with all my co-teachers and principals and assistant principals, and us. It opened their eyes that their son has this whole other world. So your mom probably kind of saw that with you.
Yes.
You have all these connections, which is kind of nice. It makes you feel good too, that your mom knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. There wasn't enough time, to spend the time with everyone that I wanted to spend.
I could have had a 4th day and a 5th day and I would be happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wasn't ready to leave, especially because I had to come back and finish up my school year.
Yeah,
you guys, I still have 2 more days. 2 more days till summer vacation.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that drive for me was sad. I was like, oh, I did not want to leave. You know, it was a sad drive home.
I get it. I don't know. I think, yeah, everyone was tall. That's true. I mean, I saw a lot of tall people there.
You included.
Yeah, Larry.
Yes. You're one of those guys.
One of the tall people, but there was a lot of tall people there. It was great. I can't imagine what it would have been like. I was trying to put myself in a place like a Dr. Chafee, where or Dr. Baker, where they aren't ever not being introduced to people the whole time they're there. And they stayed on the floor. They didn't go hide. That is pretty impressive. And I started almost feeling bad, like to bring people to see him, like my sister to see Chafee, because I just thought, man, they're always getting hit. They're never.
Yes.
They don't get a minute to breathe.
But I think, that's part of the brand, and they are building a brand and they are getting the message across. And because it's such a positive message, guys, it's not like we're selling some snake oil stuff or like some of the stuff there, right? We saw some of the booths there are pretty questionable, but it's not a carnivore convention. It's a Hack Your Health convention. So there's crazy stuff there. There is some weird stuff.
There was
flat out, and a lot of it does not apply to us.
A lot of the vendors were not. They didn't even know what carnivore was.
Right.
Selling
Or
their
even
products.
keto. Like I went
Yeah.
to some of the keto booths because I was checking stuff out maybe for Zach. And the people there they for sure don't eat keto. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But they were there representing that company.
Yeah.
Well, we had an opportunity to talk to. There was 2 young ladies that had this soup broth. I don't know if you guys saw those ladies. They had this keto broth, bone broth that they were, I guess selling. And we just had an opportunity to talk to them about carnivore, and I think they may try it. They were really, really interested in it, and G gave them a whole teaching session on it. So it was really good.
They're selling
G is
bone
awesome.
broth. They should, because that could be their market, right? That could be a big part of their market.
Yeah.
It could, yes.
So if
But
you
their
understand-
broth had a lot of vegetables in it because it was more like a
Understand
keto type of a thing. So yeah.
That would be easy to tweak that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be. The same
It
thing
would.
happened to me at that. I don't know what kind of drink it was. It was like a caffeine substitute energy drink. And I was talking to that
The
lady.
ketones in it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like,
I
your
remember that.
skin looks really good and all this stuff. And I was like, carnivore? And she's like, yeah, I've been on the fence, but I think you've convinced me to try it. I'm
See
like, try
that?
it. Try it.
The
yeah.
living person themselves is the best sales for a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when they see the actual.
Mhm.
I got a question about being a Submariner and being tall. So I'm 6'2.5", 6'3", depending on what shoes I'm wearing. And the submarine is 6'1" throughout the whole sub, except for under the escape trucks.
Oh, wow.
So there's only a couple places in the engine room
Uh-oh, he froze.
a little bit hunched over because my hair would catch the lights.
Oh.
They have a screw, and I would lose hairs on the top of my head when I was walking. Not like you, John, but I'd lose a couple of hairs when I'm walking through. And the beds were only about 6 foot to 6'1". So I'd always have to sleep with my legs bent. I could never straighten out in the bed. And we don't call them beds, we call them racks back then, I guess.
Oh.
Right, Dave? You all call them racks on the surface too?
Oh yeah.
You go rack out, right?
Rack out.
But I was not the tallest guy in the sub. We had an exo who played basketball at Annapolis. He was 6'5",
Whoa.
and we called him Lurch for sure. He would always be bent over, except for the couple places he could stand up in the submarine. So,
Wow.
we got a question, guys. Weirdest booth or exhibit at Hack Your Health? All right.
Good question.
Yes. Who wants to go first on this one?
I have to think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think too.
Right. I got one. All right. I tried this one. I don't know if it's the weirdest one, but I don't know what it was called, so I can't give the company name, but you lay down on the mat, and there was one mat that vibrated to the sound of music that they provided, but the other 2 didn't. And then, hi, Nia. And then they put these sunglasses on, and then this light it was just a white light, and it would vibrate in tune with the music. And then eventually I saw shapes through my closed eyelids, and it was supposed to reset my pineal gland. It was free. I did it. I wanted to get off my feet and rest a little bit, to be honest with you. So I just laid down and did it. That was kind of weird. So I would say that was the weirdest thing I saw.
I did that too, and they put a blanket on you. It
Yeah,
was
I got a
little
blanket.
halftime kinda.
Yeah.
And my son wanted to do it, but they wouldn't let him because he's only 18, and it might damage his brain. I'm like, come on now.
Oh, so we
But,
damage our brain. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay for us because we can make it.
Oh, man.
Hey,
Hey,
Nia,
what
I
we-
know that little girl.
Yeah.
That one, John. I couldn't remember. That's the first one that came to mind. I was watching people go through that. I'm like, that looks very bizarre, almost.
You do it?
Like late 60s kind of
Right.
hallucinogenic kind of stuff. The other booth, there was a booth that, I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but there was a couple. They were selling a product. It was basically the tortilla chips, but they weren't carnivore and they weren't really keto either. It was basically tortilla chips, but they used a particular wild corn fried in tallow, beef tallow. And like I said, it wasn't something that I would eat, but I said, if this is something that kids would eat, it would be so much better because it's not fried in seed oil, and it's a type of corn, a more wild type of corn that doesn't have a giant glycemic jump when you eat it. But I thought that was a little out of place for the, for the event. But, that was probably something out of the ordinary that I saw.
I've got another one that I think should not have been there. Larry knows which one. I'm gonna
Oh
say.
yeah, I know which
The
one.
gummies?
The nicotine
Yeah.
vendor. They were selling nicotine lozenges or gum or something. They were handing out a whole tins of them. I discussed it with him. I said, "Is this the same as nicotine?" He says, "No, it's not the same as nicotine. It doesn't have all the foreign substances." I said, "Is it the same molecular chemical as nicotine?" And he finally said, "Yes, but." He just kept trying to steer my mind away from that.
It's organic.
How are they allowed to sell that there? I mean,
Wow.
I guess people who are trying to quit smoking and vaping, it'll help them do that. But I mean, it just didn't seem like something that should be at Hack Your Health because
I
it's,
agree. They had these gummy things too. I think there might have been ketones with gummies or something.
Yeah, it was gummies with ketones. Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like candy, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So my mom.
I think the most interesting
Hi.
one, hey Nia, was brisket. The RV.
Oh yeah, I love the RV carnivore. Greg, he's fantastic.
That was so cool. So the whole trailer with all the parts of the beef on it, and the way he had that trailer decked out was that it wasn't weird, but it was kind of weird that it was a cow on the outside and an amazing house on the inside.
I love that too.
That was
My
great.
mom and I stopped by a pretty weird booth. I don't really know the name of the company either. It was like this fabric stuff that's supposed to loosen your muscles up or something. And we like put this fabric around our neck. Yeah. Snake oil. And they just kept calling it the technology. The technology is amazing. They couldn't explain how it worked.
No,
and
they
then
started
they would
throwing
make
words
you
around.
do these stretches and breathe. And now do you feel how your back feels better? All this kind of stuff.
They're like, it's got charged ions. I'm like, all ions are charged. Do you know chemistry and physics? I mean, come on, guys. I'm like, listen, I'm a nuclear guy. I used to do nuclear power. I'm like, you send me your literature so I can look at this. This looks. It looked totally ridiculous. They put it on my shoulders, and the guy found out I was in the Army and didn't even try. He gave up. He's like, "Well, he's in the Army. We're not going to try it." I'm like, "Okay." So it was funny. But that was total snake oil salesman. That's number one I saw was a rag you put on your neck that's supposed to loosen your muscles. I'm like, give me a break. Come on. It's not even warm. And then they're rubbing your shoulder. I'm like, if you rub my shoulder, my T-shirt loosens my muscles. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So, Neil, why don't you give us your general reflection on the? I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show, but we were talking about what we came away with, what our takeaway was from the conference.
Man, there was a lot, and somehow I missed all these weird booths that you guys were talking about. I didn't see the nicotine thing. I didn't see the put the rag on your neck thing. So yeah, I went to the Blue Blocker place, and I'm like, I'm gonna wear these things at night, starting at sunset time, especially on the computer. So I've been wearing them every night since I got home, which I think it is, and I definitely use my screens after dark. And although I fall asleep pretty easily, I went to the lady talking about sleep alchemy and the circadian rhythm stuff. And she talked about that, and the woman I got the blue blockers from, even 15 seconds of blue light after sunset can disrupt your melatonin production for like 2 to 3 hours. So it doesn't even take that much to stop you from sleeping as well as you could. And so got like one overall takeaway. I feel like, because I agree, I feel like it got a little broad. I don't know if that's kind of where the question was going, but I feel like it got a little broad in terms of the stuff that was included via some of the presentations and the stuff that was available in the booths. So
what was most impactful to you? If out of all the experiences there, what was the most impactful thing to you? Was it going to presentations, meeting people in person, seeing the tables and the different products? What was the most impactful to you, do you think? Made it the most valuable?
It was definitely meeting people in person. And even though like you guys I've seen online a lot and talked to you guys online a lot, it was still like the best part to meet in person. And some people I've never seen your face before. um like Dee Saunier, I got to see, meet you in person. And so that was super cool. And seeing the people that I followed in person, that's definitely sort of like a magical experience. It's like, wow, this person is a human. I think, like you were saying once in the clip that I recorded, they're just like us in many ways, and seeing people in the flesh reminds you of that. We're all just humans trying to figure it out, and we're all on our own journeys. So that was definitely the most impactful. And the cold plunge, I'll say was the thing that's probably going to stick with me the most for the longest.
Robin too, right? Robin, I didn't do it. I stayed the heck out of there.
You did it?
It was cold. It's the
I
coldest
didn't.
thing I've ever done in my life. I'm
You're
like,
Michigan.
the craziest thing about it was everybody talks about how you do the cold plunge and afterwards you feel so amazing. I did not. My brain turned off for 12 hours. I couldn't think of one thing to save my life. I kept trying to think of people's names and different products and, that coffee thing up there. I could not think of anything. It was so crazy. So that was, I'm the first person I've ever heard say that, but my brain came back on at 5:00 in the morning. So that was crazy. I don't know if I'll ever do that again.
Yeah, I really wish I would have done the cold plunge. I was like, well, I'm gonna have to bring this. I'm gonna have to bring a change of clothes. But after seeing people do it, I said, I wish I'd have done the cold plunge, and I wish I'd have done the chiropractor demo, the back cracker. But when I decided to do it, he was taking like a break for about an hour. I guess, he'd been adjusting people forever. And then I couldn't coordinate a good time after that. So I don't know. Next time.
Yeah, I did the chiropractor right after Nia talked to me. She interviewed me. Nia put out these really cool videos, and so did Robin. And that you have to watch. Anybody who hasn't seen them, it really summed up some of the days. And I saw myself in the video saying, "I'm going over to the chiropractor," and I did, and it was great. And I paid for it. It was, it wasn't a free one. And the guy did I haven't been to a chiropractor in years and years, and I felt looser, more limber the whole rest of the weekend. So there must be something to getting adjusted for sure.
Yeah, I saw Robin's wrap up videos, the part day 1, day 2, and day 3. Those were great, Robin.
They were good.
And I saw yours as well, and those were fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
John as well. I saw John's as well. I forgot. John.
Yeah, I put a couple out.
Yeah, they were fantastic. I loved them.
So Ancient Carnivore Nutrition put out, I fell off the wagon a few weeks ago, not losing weight, but also not gaining. Well, just, I always say is jump back on the horse like no one saw you fall off, but also do a little analysis of why you fell off. What was leading up to that? What things could you have done that might have prevented that or might prevent it next time? So if you run into the same stressors or the same situation, you can maybe make better decisions because you don't want to fall off. So you can prevent it. You can be a little preventative if you do some reflections. So let's see.
I want to say this to Ancient Carnivore is that if you always do what you always did, you're always going to get what you always got before. So it's okay to get back on the wagon. Just all it takes is to just do it. And don't let it be too long, because we know what happens if we stay off the wagon. I know I've been on every single diet under the sun, unless I didn't know about the diet. If I didn't know about it, then I didn't do it. But if I knew about it, I tried it, and I always lost my weight. I forced my weight down through a variety of diets. That's why people never saw me get really, really big. Because as soon as I hit that 199 mark, I'm like, okay, I got to go on a diet, lose my weight, and then go right back to the standard American diet and gain all that weight back plus some. So we already know what happens when we do that. So just highly recommend that you just get right back on the wagon. It'll be all right.
I read Dr. Nelson's post right there, and the same for me. I got on the scale yesterday, right? And I thought, okay, I have never eaten so much meat so much good meat in a row.
So
After the
good.
Korean barbecue, we went out to the
Oh.
churrasco, the Brazilian steakhouse. Nia, you
Yep.
were there. And it was like I ate more than I've ever eaten. I thought if I'm going to gain weight, it's going to be after this weekend. And I lost 4 pounds.
I lost 3.
How the heck did that
Wow.
happen?
You
I don't know.
guys.
I don't know
So,
how
you.
that happened.
I love this way of eating. You can
I
eat.
stayed stable.
all you
I
want.
didn't gain or lose. I stayed the same, but I actually did eat meat till it stopped tasting good, Dr.
Yeah,
Chafee.
yeah.
That's the first time I've ever done that. I was like, oh my gosh, this actually doesn't taste good. Now I know what Dr. Chafee means when he says that.
You get to
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah, you can do that at the Korean barbecue or at
Oh,
the
I sure did.
or at
Brazilian,
the
yeah.
Brazilian
Brazilian
steakhouse.
steakhouse.
Easy
That's
to
the
do that.
the
You
two
can eat,
places.
until you can't
So
eat.
good.
Yep.
So,
That's the two places I did
back
that
on
for
what
sure.
Robin said. What you don't want when you fall off these diets is Groundhog Day, right? You don't want to be Bill Murray waking up every morning and restarting that, living the first 30 days over and over and over. That's the worst time. You get past that, it gets easy. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, but eating till meat doesn't taste good for sure. That is fantastic. And you know what's really cool is now, because John, you just brought up that Dr. Nelson said something, that I know who Dr. Nelson is now personally. It was really cool because we got to meet. That's so neat, right? That's just a neat thing.
It is.
These people, there's an added dimension. This is a 3-dimensional relationship now instead of
Now
just
it is, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and with all of us too, which is really exciting. I mean, meeting Nia, meeting your daughter and your fiance and everything, it's just a lot of fun. And my son got to meet all you guys.
And
So,
Duke, I got to spend so much time with Duke.
Yeah, and the dog.
What an amazing, beautiful dog. When he would
Yeah.
sit there and he wanted to give his paw, every time he did that and looked at you, my heart melted. I'm like, how do you not like kiss
Yeah,
the
you
dog?
told Duke to sit, and he sat and then he looked up at you like, did I do it right? Did I do a
Right.
good job? Oh my gosh.
Gosh. I
It
love
was
dogs.
really
So
fun.
good.
It was fun. It was really good to sit across from your son, Larry. He was, like I said, I was very impressed with him for his age, the way he engages in conversation. Like it's almost like you're talking to somebody that's, in his 30s, that's used to talking to adults. He was great. And when we were at the restaurant, it was really fun watching Nia's little girl, like just going at it on that grill. Man.
She was cooking
She's
meat,
a
you
grown-up.
guys. She
She
was
was
working
cooking
that
it up.
girl. Yep. That was awesome.
That was a great dinner, Nia, and I want to thank you for putting that together. I know it's a lot of, it's a lot of extra stressor, to do that and to coordinate, especially how many people we have there? We got a picture of it. It's got to be 25.
I thought it was
big.
15.
Yeah, I think 16. I think because we had a couple people drop out, and then we added some, and then we added some more, and so I think we ended up with like 16 maybe.
It was
That
great.
was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
And the food was good, man. Those ribeyes, I could not believe how good they were. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Korean barbecue got some ribeye game here. And then the tongue,
Pork
I
belly.
didn't like the tongue. I did not like the tongue. The beef belly, that was my
Beef
jam.
belly, pork belly.
belly.
What I did not like, beef intestine.
I was gonna say,
Ew.
who else
didn't eat
tried
that.
it besides
I
us?
I didn't try it.
It was just me and you, Nia.
I tried the tongue
Okay.
and I didn't like that. I wasn't
Oh,
going
I
for the
love
tongue.
Oh, Illy tried it too. My little girl, she just picked one up innocently thinking it was probably
Poor
something
baby.
else. And she chewed it and I thought she liked it for a second. And then as soon as I was like, Illy likes it. And then she was like, "Bleh," and spit it out. Almost.
Yeah, I
Almost
didn't
got
eat the
away.
intestine stuff. But the regular meat cuts and it was all good, man. I cannot complain.
good.
And they brought us butter. Thank you, John, for insisting, because they oil all their, so they bought us big chunks of butter that we were able to slice.
Everyone else in that restaurant was using either soybean oil or canola oil, some kind of oil base. And unless you ask, you're always going to get oil.
Every restaurant.
Yeah.
I've seen it everywhere.
So G asked on the other side of the table. G asked very nicely for them to bring the butter.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "This is all the butter we have."
Yeah,
We're
they
like,
ran out.
We don't care.
We had to ration it.
Butter.
Yes, like
So
so
if you're going
down to the corner and buy 3 or 4 bricks of butter, man.
Yep.
Hey,
to
what was our total bill? Like almost $1,000? I don't know.
$990. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
Wow.
$50 a person or something like that, right?
It
Or,
was 60. Yeah, it's
60,
with the
yeah.
tax and everything. It was like
Yeah, it was about
65.
$50, but it
Yeah.
was well worth
Oh,
it.
that and the
worth it.
camaraderie and the conversation and it just the whole environment was just an experience that I want to find one around me now. You know,
I know that's
hopefully
the
one
first
with
thing I
air conditioning that
did.
works.
Yes.
Yeah, I was laughing because usually we go there because like Ben can get all the sides and the rice and everything, and he does all the usually like the marinated stuff, and then
Right.
I can get the the regular plain meat. But I kept poking at him. I'm like, you're gonna be the weird one today because all of us are gonna be like me and just eating the plain unmarinated stuff, and you're gonna be over there with your little sides.
now at the salad bar, I
Um,
went to the bathroom, and on the way to the bathroom was the salad bar, and on the salad bar was raw salmon, and there was
Oh.
cheese. Like we
Oh.
could have eaten some of that stuff.
I
just
didn't
a-
know that was over
Mhm.
Neither
there.
did I. Who would have known? But
Hmm.
we had the option to go over there. It was part of our
I didn't know that. I was too
two-tier
I didn't even
plan.
know they had a salad bar.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Me
I was
neither.
focused on the meat.
Well, One of the things I noticed, even at the cheapest option, which was like $29, you could have ate well. You could have actually ate well if you were budget minded for $30, basically. Could have eaten really well just meat on that menu. I mean, it wasn't the primest stuff, but it was still beef and lots of it. So,
But the experience was worth it. And my son, he ate some of the marinated stuff, but he ate the regular stuff too. And we had to. So my takeaway from that is, if I go to a Korean barbecue, I'm going to bring a block of ghee or butter with me, and I'm going to bring my salt. I didn't have salt.
I had my
I
salt.
don't go
Yeah.
out to
Yeah, I
eat.
had my salt.
Well, they had theirs. Their salt.
Yeah, they had
probably-
salt, but
I don't
mean,
know if it had anything in it.
A lot of people carry the little ones because they
Yeah.
travel. I don't travel for work, and I don't go out to eat other than barbecue, and I don't need salt with barbecue because it's just the way it is. Smoked is perfect.
Right.
You
So
look
I
like
never
a-
bring
Yeah,
salt.
you look like a doctor doing house calls. You have your little bag with butter and seasoning.
Yeah, I will.
Next time I go to the
I
Korean
haven't done that
barbecue, I
yet.
definitely will bring my own butter. I'll bring a stick or a block a pound of butter.
Yeah, bring some butter. I mean, why not?
Well, luckily it lasted. We rationed it, and we actually had a little bit left over by the time we were full.
We didn't tap them out completely.
But I said to them, we need more butter. No more butter. I said,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you have
We
plenty
don't
of the
use
other
butter. Yeah, they said we don't use butter except a little to finish the steaks. This is all we have. And I
Right.
think Nia had called ahead, right? Nia, you called ahead and asked
stuff.
that
Oh, thank
question,
you, Mia.
and they said that they would have butter for us.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's
But I don't think they understood the extent.
Right.
of
Yeah,
the butter
so
that
much
we
butter
required.
14, 15
Yeah.
carnivores can eat.
they
Yeah.
didn't realize
Right.
what they were getting.
Yeah, and I could have easily brought some from home because I came straight from home, but I just didn't think. I didn't think about it,
No.
And now I know. Okay, so now I
Mhm.
know.
The next night, now what's funny, the next night we went to the Brazilian, some of us went to the Brazilian thing for
Ah.
Carrie Mann's.
Oh, I missed
thing.
it. I
It
had
was
to
worth
fly
it. I'm
home.
glad I paid that ticket because it was so worth it. It was so
It
much
was
fun.
so worth it.
Anyway, we're sitting there early, and right before they started serving the meat, one of the waiters comes around to hand everybody some cheesy bread. And everybody's
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
everybody's saying, no, thank you, no,
No,
thank
no,
you. And I
no.
said, you're not gonna, And then somebody stood up and said, the salad bar is over there, and you can all do that. And we all looked at him like, that doesn't happen either. Just bring on the meat.
You all said at the same time, like, plants are trying to kill us.
Yeah, right. We should. And I get to say, I actually ate, even though I wasn't at the same table. I got to eat with Anthony Chafee
Nice.
and Sean Baker, and
Nice.
And I
it
sat
was-
right next to
Same room.
Dr. Tilts.
Were you?
Right next to him.
Oh, jeez.
Mhm.
Got to
So,
watch him.
I was at the airport and I'm walking through the airport and I hear Christy and I look over and it's Brett, who's your carnivore. So I got to hang out with Brett, and then
Hey.
we video called Ellie while we were hanging out there.
Oh,
Because
nice.
Ellie didn't get to come. So the three of us kind of sat there chatting until my plane had to take off, and
That's
then his
fun.
plane was delayed. But it was cool because I thought I'm just gonna be sitting by myself for 2 hours. Nope. And he had meat sticks, you guys. You guys were having picanha. Oh, and Nia did a picanha dance when she ate
She sure
picanha
did.
for the first time. She
It was my
like-
first picanha, you guys.
She was
I
dancing.
remember
the
And you loved
picanha
it?
dance.
time.
Isn't it amazing?
It
Right?
was. I mean,
love
I
it.
figured, yeah, I'd be good because I hear you
No,
guys, I hear Christy
good.
talk about it all the time.
That.
Ellie always sends me pictures when she makes one. I'm always like, yeah, that
Yeah.
looks good. But seriously, it's like It's so tender, and then they cooked it perfect. I thought it was
Yep.
like, really medium rare to almost rare in
Yes.
the middle, and then
Mhm.
the fat
Yeah.
was like perfectly cooked, so it was
It
like
was. You eat that.
chewy and
Oh.
melty. I was like, okay, why can't I find these here anywhere?
We have them all. I'm surprised. Maybe it's like we have them all over Florida. They're cheap too.
Yeah, you just got to the like
Walmart.
many of the Mexican markets will have it probably because that's what they eat.
They do.
Oh,
They're the Brazilians. It's a
And
Portuguese. Yeah.
you can also in the U.S. a butcher may call it sirloin cap.
yes. I can get sirloin
for
cap at
that.
one store here, but I haven't tried the Mexican restaurant. I mean, the Mexican store. I'm gonna try that one.
Yeah, Mexican markets here that might have.
Did anybody go to Black's Barbecue? Oh my gosh!
No, I went to the one
been
right
there.
across the street from what was
What-
it? Terry
what was the
Black's
name
is
of
the
that
one I
one?
went to.
What was the name of that one?
Terry Black's.
Terry Black's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Black's. We call it
Oh
Black's.
gosh!
I went there twice.
Yeah, it's really good.
I went straight to the meat guy and I said, "Give me about a half a pound of brisket." And I ate that like within, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Oh, so good.
And like I went back and I'm like, okay, I want another order. So I ate close to a pound of brisket right then and there. It was freaking amazing.
It was.
You know,
Some of the other people I saw that I was really excited was Todd from the Carnivore Cure.
Yep.
That guy's
Yeah.
story is epic. And here he is walking around and he never could even fit in a car, let alone travel
Yeah.
out to
Right.
another state. And now he's out walking. It's so cool to see him. I got a picture with him and Carrie Mann, of course.
Yes.
And I think Adam is the guy that's always his sidekick, right? Is it Adam?
There's another one. It's a different name. Ashley. It's a
Ashley.
Well,
Yeah.
Ashley,
Carnivore
Ashley of
Brothers.
Carnivore Brothers. They were
Yes.
there. Ashley of the Carnivore Brothers is there, but there's another one too that was with him. I think it's Adam. But anyway,
Yeah. Adam from Carnivore Today. Yep.
Carnivore Today. He interviewed me. That's right. Adam was there, and just seeing so many of you, just really, I don't know. It was really enriching to my journey. I can say that, and I feel like I have a team of real people around now, and it's not just like YouTubers. You're no longer YouTubers.
Right.
You're
We're
friends with
family.
me.
We're people.
Exactly. Real people, right? And it is like a family element kind of that you walk away with, I think, which is great. So really exciting. Let's see what else. Who else we got in here? We got Arlene saying hi, Larry. Anything else that you guys have that are thoughts that you'd like to share?
Was anyone else as excited as I was to meet Dr. Boz? Because it was like I knew she was going to be there, but I didn't hook. Like 1 + 1 did not equal 2. Like I wasn't like I might get to meet her, and then I got to meet her. And I was like,
Good.
Yeah.
Dr. Boz.
Yeah, she was there.
I got to talk to her for a little
Yes.
while and tell her how I loved her first book, Any Way You Can.
Yes,
And then she
yes.
talked all about her mom and everything. Oh my gosh, she's such a sweetheart.
She is.
Man, I just loved her.
Yes. Nia won something. What'd you win, Nia, from Dr. Boz?
Yeah, I won this little
Oh,
gadget right here.
what is it? I can't see it.
Oh, she got the CGM.
Oh, you
Got
got
one
a
of the
CPM? They're expensive.
CPMs, yeah,
How cool.
they are.
Wow.
So it lasts for 10 days.
Right,
So
and it's
it'll
connected
go
to your
through like
phone and
next
all?
Wednesday. Yeah, there's a little app in here so I can look anytime I want. Want to know what my blood sugar is right
Yeah,
now?
what's
what
your
is it right
glucose
now?
right
And what did you
now?
eat recently?
81. Okay.
81. It's
81.
never gone above 100 this entire time, no matter what I've eaten
Even
or
Okay.
drank. Because I've been curious about decaf because I've been having some decaf now and then, and I definitely had some on the trip.
that doesn't.
And I
Mhm.
sometimes feel like it gives me a little bit of reactive hypoglycemia. Like I feel like I get a crash afterwards. So that was one of the things I was curious about. And then I was curious about overnight, during sleep. Like, do I ever get really low or what happened, But so far, it's been like pretty steady. I
What's
haven't
that
had
for?
any really low, like really big dips after drinking decaf, and I haven't had anything above 100. I think 97 has been my highest
It's good.
highest
enough.
reading after eating. So
I won this.
see.
What is that, Dave?
I got there was a
Spaghetti sauce.
display of all these supplements. This one's gut and digestion by a company called Heart and Soul.
Oh yeah, heart and
And-
soil.
Heart And soil, correct. Yeah, this one's just basically a pill that contains, grass-fed tripe, New Zealand grass-fed intestines, New Zealand grass-fed pancreas, New Zealand grass-fed liver, and New Zealand grass-fed spleen.
Paul Saladino owns that company.
Yeah, Saladino. But I won this on there. They had a little trivia thing where,
Oh, cool! You won it.
yeah, they said, like, can you guess all the products that are in here? And I guessed all the products that were in.
Cool.
So I won a bottle of this. So yeah. So
Oh,
There's our picture, guys.
Yeah,
There's
was
all of
nice.
us. There we are.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
that's the one
Yeah.
the lady took of us. Was it a lady or a guy or somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone walking through. That room was incredibly hot.
It was hot.
Mhm.
It
Oh my
was a
God.
hot.
Well, the whole place was getting steamy with all those grills on.
Mhm.
felt like
Yeah.
we were in Korea.
Yeah.
It was really fun though. But I was having such a good time, and the food was so good, and the company was so good that it didn't faze me at all. I mean,
Mm-mm.
totally great time.
It was.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
just I love that. If anyone wants a copy of that picture, let me know, and I'll email them. So that was there, including you, Dr. Nelson, if you want it. Let's see. So Dr. Nelson apparently, he's familiar with Tampa. Is he from? He's from Florida.
Florida. I
Oh.
think
Yeah,
so.
he's from that area, I think.
Okay.
So,
All right, not where I live, Dr. Nelson. I'm in Boca Raton, and I think I have to. There's a Brazilian steakhouse in West Palm Beach I've been to, but I didn't want to travel that far up the road. I have to look around. There might be a Korean one.
The carnivore mommy always brings butter and salt. Well, that's being a mom.
She does. I can vouch for her because we went to the Chicago meetup together, and she definitely laid out the butter for us. So we were very appreciative.
Awesome.
That's an awesome carnivore mom. That's awesome. Let's see. I love this conversation. You guys sound like it was so much fun. I was walking and listening after my OMAD meal. Yeah, it was it was amazing. I mean, it's definitely worth it. Especially if you buy your ticket early, guys, and get the $50 discount. There will be another discount. And I don't know what the code will be, but we'll find one and I'll publish it. We will all publish it, I'm sure, as soon as we find one. And I think I paid $100 a ticket. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was affordable. My hotel got pretty steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
stayed the same place. Right? Yeah,
that's where getting the house together will be the way
that
to go.
we could really save. We get Airbnb, I think.
My sister, and correct me if I'm wrong, Janine, they paid $900 for the whole weekend from Friday to Monday for a 4-bedroom house. So
Wow.
yeah, so and they use 1 bedroom, so there's 3 bedrooms open.
oh
So
Man.
that would have been doable.
Could have
right?
divided that up.
yeah. I stayed with the last minute. A buddy of mine said, "Hey, just stay with me. Cancel your hotel." He lived like blocks away from the Capitol.
Oh,
A
great.
very bougie, real
He's by
bougie-
campus where I work.
That's awesome.
I was living really nice downtown next to the Capitol. I loved it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
But I would have liked to. It would have been kind of fun to get a big house and get a bunch of people together. It would have been kind of nice, I think.
You're like a fraternity.
Well, it is kind of.
Yeah, well, I'm down for a beach vacation for next year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll come for a week or 10 days and just hang
Yeah,
out at the house.
The only bummer for me is it's September and that's the beginning of our school year. Like May was so
That's
easy
Was
for
it
me because we're done with
September?
testing. We're done with it's fine for me to leave 3 days for because I played hooky. I mean, used personal days for 3 days. And but it wasn't that big a deal. We were done with testing, report
Right.
cards are
I
done,
remember.
but in September, that's the beginning of the
That's
school
hard.
year.
It's very hard to take off. I
It'll be-
remember all my vacations were at spring break,
Yes.
summer, and Christmas time, and that was it. 'cause it was
September. I wish they
complicated
wouldn't
to
have
take off.
changed the month.
So
I wonder why they did
schedules are
that.
opposite of yours, because whenever the students and the faculty go, that's when, like right now, is my busiest time. Students come back in tomorrow, and everything slows down for me because all the changes I do to the network have to
Oh,
be done when no one's here. And when I say no one, only 10,000 people. Okay, that's no one. Because when we have a full load, I have 90,000 devices on my network. So, I'm at 1/10 of the normal traffic, and that's when I can do radical changes. because it's just the staff, not the faculty and the students.
Mm.
So anyway, yeah, it's interesting. I do have stipulations too of when I can go. Like certain weekends are just no go. I've got to be here. Yeah, we do stuff. So Walmart carries picanha. This is Dr. Nelson. I heard
Yeah.
Not in Michigan.
Okay.
In California, some of them do, so that's where I get mine.
So you could probably go to the
2 a
Walmart
week.
app and check.
If there's a large Hispanic population in that area of
They
Walmart,
have it. Yeah.
they're gonna carry
Yep.
picanha.
It's more
But, yeah, you might
Brazilian
wanna check
of all the
that.
Yeah, I would
Hispanic.
feel
more
like I
Brazilian.
would think there'd be some around here in my
That's
area.
what
Then
I'm
I've
saying.
looked at
Check
Central
Walmart.
Market, Tom Thumb, Walmart, but I mean, there's a lot of Walmarts around here. Maybe it's just that one and not the other three. That
Go
I've been to.
online. So I find that Walmart sometimes has meat and sometimes doesn't.
Sam's
but the
doesn't
meat's
have
always-
it.
Meat's always listed online, and then it'll
Yeah.
tell you which stores have it. So go online on the
Go
Walmart
online and yep.
webpage and look for it and find out if any of them. Then you know, let your fingers do the walking. If you remember how we used to say
My
it.
bow and arrow out and
Yellow
I
pages.
remember
bring
that.
down here. Okay.
My only other suggestion for finding picanha, besides you calling it by its U.S. name of sirloin cap, would be to go to around here we have a lot of Central South American type bodegas that sell meat, and I forget what they're called, like a carne something, I don't know, but you can find picanha there. They have their own special types of beefs and pork and chicken, right? And you can buy them there. We have a few around here. I keep meaning to try that, but I find what I need, like picanha, at either Walmart or my local butcher will sell it to me as, sirloin cap. But yeah, that's the other option. Find a special.
Dr. Nelson said, look for a Spanish supermarket. That's what I was talking about. Or as you say in Spanish, supermercado, right? That's what they call them. And
what
you know,
primal
Dr.
cut is
Nelson-
that from? Does anyone know?
What's
What?
that?
What do you cut that out of? Sirloin cap.
Kind of
Oh,
the top part of the rump. I watched the Bearded Butchers explain
they're
it
great.
once. If you
They
ever
lay
watched
the
the
whole
Bearded
cow out.
Butchers, they have a video that will educate you like crazy. They cut this whole beef cattle up, and they tape out the shape of a cattle on this big table, and they lay all the pieces of the meat where they took it from the cattle, and it's so fascinating, and you learn so much. And so it comes from the top part near the rump and the top. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah,
I saw it there.
Okay.
the big back.
Yeah.
It's like a rump roast because I see those and I'm wondering like
It's near there.
sometimes there's like
thing.
5 or 6 different names for things.
Yeah.
And I get so confused because I'm
Yeah.
like, is a rump roast the same as a chuck roast? No, they're different. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Now the word picanha is Brazilian. That's so we have a lot of Brazilians here, and we're a lot of Brazilian
Portuguese.
markets. Portuguese. I mean, well, it's
Yes.
Brazilian and Portuguese.
Well, Brazilian Portuguese, yeah.
But we have a lot of people from Brazil here in Florida, so I think we have a lot of them for that reason.
We
And
have a
the
lot of
word
people here
is
from
a Portuguese word from Brazil. Yeah.
okay.
We have a lot here in Austin too. My neighbor was, and they have a community. They all get together and do the Brazilian thing, and
Yep.
I'm sure picanha is part of that.
They grill a lot of
Mhm.
meat.
HEB has it, which is a little Texas chain. So again, you probably have to check. If you check the website, so and let your fingers do the walking, you can probably find it. Let's see.
That's our generation, Larry. Let the fingers do the walking.
That
Some
is.
young kids would have no idea where that
No
came
idea.
from,
Yep.
right?
I know.
Yellow Pages.
Yep.
Remember the yellow?
Okay,
Remember
I
that big
wasn't a-
book we had?
Yep.
I wasn't a bad kid in high school, but I did share my story about stealing report cards. And actually,
Yes, you
okay,
did.
the motivation behind this. Okay, let me tell you. When I was in junior high, I was in the office and I was left alone for a few minutes, and there was a stack of blank report cards, and I just grabbed some, like 6 or 7. So I thought, well, I'll just do my own. I was trying to get out of trouble with my dad because my dad was really on me about grades. So I thought, I'm just going to give him some report cards, and then I realized I could sell some to other students, and I sold it for like 50 cents a piece. Yeah, Robin, you missed this. I told this at dinner at the.
Oh my gosh. I was at the wrong end of the table to hear that story. Robin and I were having our own conversation.
And I filled them out for people and signed them and sold them for 50
No.
cents a piece. So I had quarters to go play. I think I was playing Defender back then
Yeah.
at the 7-Eleven. Okay, so I go to the 7-Eleven and I buy a chocolate pie and I play Defender. That was my thing. I can remember it explicit until I got caught when we had parent-teacher conferences, and my dad's like, "What's going on?" And the teacher's like, "Well, your son's having problems." And he's like, "But he's got straight A's." And that was like, no. So anyway, that was so. But the other thing I did in high school that probably wasn't what good kids do was I would prank call from the white pages. We would find funny names and call and just, be funny. Like,
is your refrigerator running?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Better go chase it.
So, and I don't know, prank calling was a big thing back then.
It was.
fun.
We did it too. We did it too.
No, and we weren't.
See, there was no caller ID. There was
No.
Right.
people
The guy
always
named-
answered the phone, and you never knew who was on the other end. Hello.
Yeah, we
Call a guy Mr.
that too,
Hooper.
and
I
then
forgot
last-
why we thought it was funny.
and then callback feature came aboard, and people would call
Yeah.
you and bust you.
Star 96 or something. They would
Star
call back.
67
Yeah.
will block you. I
Oh,
know.
We
yeah.
had that one time somebody called a few minutes later. "Hi, may I speak to your father?" I'm like, "Sure." Okay. And it was the person we hijacked. It was quite
The
embarrassing.
dude abides says Adam wants to interview me when I'm at a meetup. Yeah, I would.
Nice.
He does a good interview.
it.
He's a
Yeah.
good interview. I would do that if I were you.
You definitely
He's
should.
He's a good guy.
He's a great interviewer.
He has he asks good questions, for sure, I think. He says he hasn't replied. I'll go ahead and reply if you have time and have the inkling. Oh, Janine says it was $800 for the weekend. So $800, 4
That's not
bedrooms
bad.
for a weekend. That's a good
Yeah.
price. If you divide it by
Yeah.
4.
Did that-
Yeah.
Did that include the cleaning fee?
What?
Did that include the cleaning fee? That it seems to always be hidden until you check out. They're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
I don't know. She can tell me that.
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
point.
it's usually like
Still,
100."
even if the cleaning fee is $150, it's still
Yeah.
So how many of us would be able to go there? 6 people, 8 people?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like couples, like my sister and her husband went, and that was one room.
Mhm.
I'm thinking
It just depends. Someone could sleep on a couch if they
8
have a
people.
fold out.
Yeah, we put 4 in a bed.
What day in September? I don't know when it is.
I don't know yet either.
Yeah, I can't find anything.
I'd have to Google it. I'm not doing it right now.
Sorry, it was
Hey,
800 for 3 bedrooms.
Who had anybody had the pleasure of meeting the high school
I did.
documentarian?
Yes.
I wanted to.
She's fabulous.
She was there with her parents. She was fantastic. She remembered me. I was like, wow, how did you remember me? Because she sent me messages before she made the video asking me questions. And so I gave her my answers because I think she watched my videos
Yeah.
and I think she appreciated the answers and she used those for her research. And then
Awesome.
the video came out and she said, "Hey, Mr. Laspina," she's talking to me like students do with my last name. "Hey, Mr. Laspina, I check this out. I made this video. I didn't know she sent it to everybody." And I was blown away like you all were too.
Mhm.
And so great she went there. She's going places, that girl.
Yeah.
My son, John, he had seen your videos before he met you.
Oh,
And I
yeah?
told him, I was like, he's a real teacher, or he was. He retired.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think after seeing his videos, I think he's probably an ELA teacher. I'm
Ah,
like, really? I said, "You think that?" And I said, I don't think so. I think he's science or something.
I was
didn't know.
I was video production for the last 17 years, but I did teach language arts and social studies. I taught tons of it. I didn't teach science, but I taught.
But it's
a lot
funny,
of-
he pegged you.
Yeah. Well, they know.
He
it.
knows his teachers, I guess. Anyway, picanha is sometimes called top rump here. I don't know where here is, but that's something to keep in mind. It could be top rump.
Yeah.
It is.
I do see the top rump in the grocery stores, but they always trim that fat cap off.
Yeah, you want the
Right.
back cap on, and picanha will have it on explicitly, right? That's
Mhm.
the
Yep.
thing.
That's the big selling point.
Yeah.
That's the good part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do
Rump
you cook
cap.
it? Do you sear it? No, you just put it in
Well,
the oven.
I'll tell you how I do it. I've done it wrong.
What temp?
And what I did is I have a thermometer with a little wire so I can put it in. I put it in my Traeger smoker and I set it at 200 degrees. And it usually takes about an hour and a half. And I wait until the temperature says 110, 115 degrees on the inside because I like it rare, medium rare. And then I pull it out and I wait 15 to 20 minutes. You slice into that baby. It looks just like it did at that restaurant. It's absolutely amazing. You want to slow cook it. You don't want to do it real. I made the mistake. I did it at 400 or 500 degrees like a steak and it doesn't come out right.
I did
So
it.
I put it on the grill. The last
Oh.
time I made one, I slit the fat cap because my oven stopped working. And I put it on the grill, like on high heat for
Did you-
like a couple of minutes, and it made that fat cap really crispy and browned. And then I turned the grill all like way, way down and let it sit in there until it got up to temperature. It was so perfect. It was the
Good.
best, better than in the oven.
How
I
many
thought.
minutes do you think
was
it
good.
took you to do all that?
Ooh, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, not long.
I
Yeah.
did 5 minute. I preheated the oven 500 degrees, and then I put the picanha in a casserole dish 5 minutes per pound,
Mhm,
and then I turned the oven off at about 15 to 18 minutes. I turned the oven off and let it sit there for 2 hours.
mhm.
It blew me away, man.
Hey,
That works
David, how'd you
perfectly.
learn how to do that?
Oh, wonder.
We know that Christy is the original
Christy's
picanha
video,
girl.
guys. She's got a video on that. Well,
Yeah,
so that's kind of like a reverse sear, right? Because reverse
Yes.
sear, you put an oven in, you put the meat in the oven at 225 for a long time, or a smoke. The smoke brisket, same thing. You smoke the brisket at 200, 225 for a long. We're talking 8 hours, right?
Wow, yeah.
That meat just to be like falling apart. So it's just the same. Another variation on that, I think. Yeah, that 800 included cleaning and pet feed.
All right.
Trucks, too.
I think that we should try that next time if we can get our
Yeah.
organization going. Yeah.
I think we can. Well, we have time now because we know what
do.
to expect. We
know
who
each
we're
other.
gonna hang out with, and yeah.
Christy, I
Um,
was gonna say, Christy, I showed my wife the video where you were getting your glucose and your
Ketones?
ketose tested. I said, "Look, Rochelle." She's like, "Well, I'm filming this."
Yep. Thank you. I wish I had my microphone. I tried messing with the sound. You couldn't. It
Yeah.
was hard to hear. If I would have had my microphone, it would have
It
been
was
better. But
very
yeah,
loud in there.
Yeah,
Very
it was very
was,
loud
it
in
was.
there. Yeah.
Echoed and everything.
But
this is for
Fine.
Rosie. Rosie wants the names of the other live streams. I'm going to make the comments go away so you can see our names, and we can just go around real quick and just say who we are. I'm the Carnivore Soldier on YouTube.
Yep, I'm at Carnivorous Grandma, which GRAMA.
Okay, I'm David. I don't broadcast any YouTube videos. I'm just a user
The moderator on my channel.
and moderator.
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm the Carnivore Teacher, 1965 on YouTube and other social media platforms.
You already know mine.
I guess she already knows you, Nia. And I'm Christy, and my channel is Meeting Wellness.
You really quick. That was good. We're way over, but I'm having a good time.
Oh, I
so
could talk for another hour.
Okay, yeah, we can keep going, right? You guys, if you guys need to drop out, I get it. It's
I might
cool.
drop out in a bit, but
Yeah, we're gonna shut down a little bit, but it's just she already posted this. I just want to make sure we got. Yeah, sous vide. Now, so here's the other thing.
Okay, I was
that's
curious
another
about that.
variation. That's another variation of this, and I actually saw someone talk about sous vide a brisket before smoking it, and have sous vide it for like 14 hours and then smoked it. I might try that just to break that meat down. So just like that would be so fun to do that. So I'm gonna try it out. That's I've done sous vide steaks for a while now. They're fantastic. There is the plastic contamination thing to worry about possibly. So if you're concerned about that, you don't want to do that. But I don't do it all the time, and I do like the cooking technique. I know John will tell you that there's
you don't get me going.
Yeah, I know, which is fine. And, everyone has their, you got to decide how you're going to do your diet.
I've heard of silicone. They have silicone bags that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've heard that.
I don't
That
know
would
if they
probably work.
seal as well, but
That doesn't
I've
have the
seen some people-
BPAs, the bisphenol A's that don't leach in and the phytoestrogen and mess up your hormone system. So you're absolutely right. If they have those bags, they're better.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe look for those bags.
Old Guy Carnivore was using those, and he showed where to get them, how he got them, and how he used them in that bath. And it looked looks simple.
I think I might do that then, because I like the cooking technique a lot. It makes cooking perfect steaks easy every time, really easy. And that's why restaurants do it, right? So if you're eating a steak in a restaurant, you're getting one that's probably sous vide, most likely if it's a higher end restaurant. That's just the way it is. Because they always have these steaks in these bins, medium rare, well done, and they're just ready to go. And they pull them out, sear them, and throw them on the plate, and they go out. I wish Old Guy Carnivore would have been there, and maybe in Florida.
Oh my God, that would have been so cool.
That would be so amazing to meet Mitch. I think he is up by Tampa too, maybe on the West Coast.
If he is, he'll probably go to the next one for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have to definitely invite him.
Yeah.
I'll send him a personal invite because I just like to meet him. Just a great guy.
Do you reuse these bags? Like, I know you use plastic, and then there's the silicone. Can you wash them out and reuse them, or are they a one-time use thing?
No, he reuses them.
Oh, okay. How about the plastic ones, Larry? Are they a one?
No, I do the vacuum seal ones, and they're not reusable.
They're not reusable.
They are food grade vacuum seals. Maybe they have.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not using Ziploc. I'm using a vacuum sealer with a vacuum seal.
Right.
So these are, and I
There's no air in it
anyway to put them in the freezer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's see. I'm subbed to everybody. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
That's great. Due to Bide does brisket for 8 hours.
Oh wow, that's a short amount of time for
That's
a brisket.
short one. Yeah, that's still probably enough. All
Hey,
right.
I wanted
Go
to
ahead.
add a thing, like, a lot of people talk about all these really cool ways to get to cook your ribeyes and what have you. I do a really good ribeye on cast iron. I mean, there's not much of a secret. It's pretty simple, but I get that cast iron real hot, put my butter in there, then I drop the flame to like a low medium, 4 minutes per side. And it's fantastic. I just put a little salt. Like, I get my ribeyes cheap here, about $10 per pound for boneless ribeye. I get them on sale all the time at a local grocery store. Like, I stocked up yesterday. Got like 10
That's a really good price.
$10. Yeah, basically they're right at $9.90 something to $10.15. Like, they're about $10 a pound. And I got like a whole bunch of them yesterday. So I'm living really good.
My favorite way to do ribeye now is sous vide at 110 degrees for 4 hours to 5 hours. And I will do a bunch of them sometimes and put a bunch in the fridge after I've cooked them that way. And then I can just pull them out, let them get to room temperature in the sear once they've been already cooked to the right temperature. So anyway, that just still tenderizes them. But if I get one right out of the sous vide, I'll put it on my grill at 500 or 600 degrees and sear it on one side for like a minute or two, and then flip it and sear it on the other side. And man, it comes out medium rare, perfect, and just so good.
Another thing I do is I have a torch.
Oh yeah, I need to do that.
Because of the Traeger grill, the flame is not touching the meat. So even though I can get an amazing ribeye or any cut of meat done correctly on my, I use it like a grill with normal, 450 temperature or whatever, also not just for smoking, but then it's not charred like it would be on a cast iron or on another kind of grill. So I just have a torch and I take it off the grill and you can watch it all sizzling up and get all dark and the fat gets all sizzly, flip it over, do the other side. It tastes just as good. It's really good.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go around the room and just talk, say whatever you want to close. It could be what's going on your channel or just whatever you want to say. And then we'll just call it a night. How about that? Let's start with you, Robin. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to add or anything you want to finish with?
You guys, I feel so emotional because going to this event was so amazing. It was so incredible to meet all of you and all the other carnivores that we met there. It was amazing to meet the doctors and talk to them and see them face to face and see how really cool they are actually in real life. And I would highly recommend for you to go next year because it was definitely well worth it. Being around so many people who are like-minded, how you're always the only carnivore in your circle. It's challenging sometimes, and sometimes it gets a little discouraging. But this refreshed me. So it really was refreshing to just be with all of you guys. And to me, it really does feel like family. Now that we've actually met face to face, we've had a chance to hug each other's necks and, all that kind of thing. So it was just really, really cool. So thanks, Larry, for pulling this together to get us together and talk about it. And I'm Robin Heron, your carnivorous grandma. I'll see you out there and here in these Conroe streets.
Yeah, I wish I could have got there maybe a day or two earlier and left a day or two later. And like, yeah, Robin, it's true. Like to be amongst a bunch of people that eat just like I do was really nice for a change, because like especially Saturday night and even Friday, because I was with another gang that ate mostly meat, but like Saturday night, I was not the person. We were all eating the same thing, and we were just all eating meat, you know. And normally at a restaurant, I'm the person that's saying, well, no, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't, you know, everybody's ordering all these sides, and I'm the only one ordering I just want meat, you know, and they're like, odd guy out, you know. But this time it was so relaxing to go out somewhere and everybody was eating exactly what you were eating. So it was fantastic. I had a blast, and I got to meet you guys, and it was far more fun than I thought it would be. And like I said, it was kind of very depressing going home, thinking like, oh my gosh, it's not gonna be like maybe another year before I see all these people again. That's terrible.
But then we have this venue, and this venue really kind of helps recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to echo kind of what everyone else said. I knew that I was going to be excited to meet all my, YouTube friends, YouTube family in person, but it exceeded my expectations by a lot. And then not only did I get to meet you guys, all of you wonderful people, but I feel like I even expanded my circle some, because I met some people that I hadn't met before. And even when I was having dinner, like there was one dinner I went to that was like mainly organized by a keto group of people, but they're like cool with us carnivores. You know what I mean? It was all good. Robin knows, because she was there. And I mean, whatever I have to do, get out of my classroom in September, I'm going to try to do it because I would just really, really recommend, if you guys wish you would have been there. Some people in the comments are saying, oh, I really wish I could have gone, or I hope to go next year. Just go. It exceeded my expectations. So absolutely.
You get here this time, didn't you?
What? I did play hooky, but it's easier in May, Larry. It's easier in May. The year is over. We're done. In September, I'm starting out. I'm setting the whole tone of my classroom for the year. It's really hard to just peace out for 3 days or whatever.
I get you, Christy. I totally, yeah.
I took vacation Friday, so I could be there part of the day. But all right, Nia, you're up.
You guys saw the good answers already, but yeah, I second all of that. I usually never do things like this, I guess I'll say, being sort of an introvert anyway, at like crowds and big gatherings, even if they're interesting, usually, fill me with anxiety, or, I get really intimidated being in big, very stimulating environments like that. But I actually saw this come up in something in my feed in like, I don't know, November or something. And then when you interviewed me, Larry, on your channel, you mentioned that you were going and you had that ticket discount. And I went that night and bought it. I was like, you know what? I'm going this time, because I always skip this kind of stuff. I always say no. I'll stay home. I'll work, or I'll do, I'll cover for everybody else while they go do stuff. And I thought, I'm going to go. And I'm so glad I did. It, like you all said, it was a refreshing time to be around like-minded people, not be the only weird meat eater. And I'm glad I got to bring my little one with me too for a little bit of this. And she...
Dude, I brought my little one.
Hold on just a second. Yes, babes. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's worth the travel and the money, in my opinion, to get around people in person. The energy was just really cool. And you never know who you're going to meet and what kind of awesome experience you're going to have. So.
Absolutely. I, same as everybody else. It was just so wonderful to be with your own like-minded people and hugging each other, seeing each other in context with the 3D instead of through a screen like we're doing now. And I feel like I do know all of you like in a completely different way now, which is so awesome. Christy and I are preparing a song. We started doing it. It's working so far. We're really excited. I experienced something when I was there, and it was this enormous amount of confidence, like self-confidence that I don't normally have, because I'm with you all, and we all got each other. We all get each other. And I just felt like I could just say what I normally don't say so freely with other people in relation to my diet and my way of eating, because you get it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just was confident and open more because I was around everybody who was thinking the same way. So I loved it. I'm absolutely going again next year, especially because it's in my state. And I'm thinking about going to Keto Palooza in Kentucky. I'm looking at that. I don't know. Everybody says it's amazing also. So I don't know. Anybody on this screen have any experience with that?
Nope.
I don't have any experience of that, but I can, just for closing out what my thoughts were real quick was,
All right.
John, you and I have had a connection since we met on YouTube, I think, and it's been a good connection. And what's really cool is you're the first person I saw at KetoCon.
Oh, you're right.
I was driving in traffic.
I was coming back from lunch across from.
And I said, "That's John."
He tooted his horn. And you know what I did? He's saying hi to me, and I go right to the back window and go, "Duke." Yeah. I said hi to Duke first.
Ignored me. We were at the Duke in the Jeep. But I saw him and I honked and I pulled right over and I blocked traffic. People were yelling at me.
Yeah, they're beeping.
You know, whatever.
It was
cool. It was cool that you're the first person I saw there.
It was.
That was cool. And I recognized you immediately, man. I was like, look, that's John. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. It's like you just popped out of the sidewalk. Of all people, you were right there. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What are the odds, right? So anyway, that was cool. Keto Palooza, though, I've heard of it. I haven't. Maybe we should look into that, but I don't think I can go to that because I've got my son. When is it?
It's in October 11th, 12th, and 13th, I think.
Yeah, we'll do. Well, I'll take a look at it. All
right.
But that's all I got, guys. You guys, anything else before we sign off?
I'm done.
Nope. Okay, guys. Hey, appreciate you all showing up. Appreciate meeting all of you and hanging out with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and just end the stream here and say, tell everybody to stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier and friends out.